Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to Collection Pack, and today we're talking about the Beatles again. This time we're talking about the Beatle albums that I have, but I couldn't put in the last video because I couldn't find them until now. Starting with Beatles for Sale. I mean, this is a great album in my opinion, but in my personal opinion, all the Beatles albums are good. I mean, songs like No Reply, I Follow the Sun, 8 Days a Week, Words of Love, Every Little Thing, Everybody is Trying to Be My Baby. All of those, almost every single song on this album, I kind of listen to almost regularly. Almost. If there's a song that I probably don't listen to too often on this album, it probably would be Ringo's cover of Honey Don't. I mean, it's a good song, but it's just personally a song that doesn't get played when I go on YouTube or Pandora or something. But if I had to choose one song that I think just would be my personal favorite out of the whole album, it would be I have to say it, but John Lennon's cover of Rock and Roll Music. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, Chuck Berry's version of Rock and Roll Music, the original version, is good, but I just think John gives the song a lot more energy, and that's what a rock and roll song needs, energy. Next we got Revolver. And it's an interesting album, honestly. I mean, nice artwork. There's a lot of good songs on here, but if I had to choose a single song that I feel carries more weight on the album, I actually had to think. A lot of people like Here, There, and Everywhere. And there are a dedicated following, I guess, for Tomorrow Never Knows. But this one I kind of have to give to George Harrison and for Taxman. Because I think it's the first time the Beatles really did like a politician or a political song. But another song on the album that I really would have considered is For No One, and even Got to Get You Into My Life, or even, well, I mean, I guess there's a dedicated fan base for Yellow Submarine. And some might say it's a kid song, but I don't know. There's nothing childish about the Beatles. Next, we got Sgt.Peppers. Oh, sorry about that. Sgt.Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Now, this is one of the first albums, in my opinion, where you could just listen to the whole album all the way through. I mean, it's easy to do that with every Beatle album, but I feel like Sgt.Pepper's starts with that. A kind of notion that you kind of have to listen to the whole album all the way through to fully experience the album. And that's, I guess, a lot having to do with the segues between songs. Now, the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band had too many songs, well, 13 songs in total, but too many choices for any particular favorite. But if I had to choose just one song out of the whole album, I have to give it to When I'm 64, a Paul McCartney song. Even though John thought it was granny music, it's probably one of the few songs from this album that could be released individually and still make a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of these songs kind of have to flow into each other, to be honest. But the only song on the album that doesn't have this as mandatory flow, I guess, is When I'm 64. I apologize, my camera is shaking, and that's because of where my hand is placed on the rest, so it's going to shake a bit, so I'm sorry, everybody. Next, we got the Beatles, or the White Album, as it's been commonly called. I would call this the Beatles' empty album. That was a bad joke. I mean, I love practically every single song on the album. Even Revolution 9. And I'm not joking. Revolution 9 is, in my opinion, the best song on the whole album. So, you guys know what my favorite is. But what's my least favorite out of the whole album? I mean, I almost want to say Long, 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 but I don't know, there's worse songs. I mean, I do kind of mock Obladi Oblada, but I still sing it. If I had to say what I think the worst song on the album is, I have to unfortunately say it would be I Will. Because it's a good Paul McCartney song, but I don't know, it's too early Beatles to even fit with the White Album, in my opinion. Abbey Road the second to last Beatles album. I know there's a lot of debate whether this or Let It Be is the last album, but I'm officially saying Let It Be is the last album because Let It Be came out in 70 and Abbey Road came out in 69. I've been going off a little bit about this video, so I'm just simply going to end this video by saying I Want You, She's So Heavy. The last song the Beatles recorded as a band is my personal favorite.